Hi, my name is Steven, and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking to you about life is short, so maximize it. Tips to get the most out of life. Lately, I've been doing a lot of reflection and contemplating of my life thus far, and how fleeting and short natured life really is to us. Despite being in my mid-30s, I've always viewed life as something precious and needed to be taken care of, and something that really requires careful attention to live our fullest lives. Over the years, I've gained a lot of experience on how to maximize life and live it to the fullest. The goal for me is to help others to try to attain that fuller lifestyle, and live a life with less regret overall, and lead people down a path that they're aligned with the goals that they want to do in their lives. So these are some of the ways that I maximize my life and gain the most out of it. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the background, my tips on getting the most out of life, and my general thoughts. So before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share with friends, hit that notification bell if you like this content. And let's go. Heading into middle age and the birth of my son has really caused me to reflect deeply upon my life. While I've been fortunate and lucky in many ways, there are still parts of my life that I wish I could do more of. These are some of the moments in my life that I still have unfulfilled from the greater goal I had. And I feel like if I don't live those moments soon, that window might be closing on me. But nevertheless, I don't have a lot of regrets on how I lived up to this moment. But despite this, I still want to understand how and why I was able to maximize different aspects of my life, and overall how I was able to minimize regret over my life choices. Some of these lessons were from my own hard-earned experiences, and others were from other people that were older than me. No matter how I was able to obtain these tips, they've really given me an edge in life. Because at the end of the day, they help me to focus on the things that I really want to do in life and minimize time wasted. Focusing on life principles that were aligned to my goals in life and not on things that weren't right for me. And the more experience I got with this, the more I was able to be more connected with my authentic self when it comes to my life's choices. So let's take a look at how I was able to maximize the things that I did in my life. So here are my tips on how to maximize life. Number one, focus on experiences. I'm a big believer on focusing on experiences rather than purchasing stuff. Even though I don't have a lot of stuff in the end, the experiences and memories lasts a lifetime, long after any material stuff has degraded or has become useless to us. Over the long course of my life, I'm able to take these experiences and integrate them into my life, making it more rich and fulfilling. Examples of this are spending time with friends, traveling, and focusing on physical activities. And I focus my money and save for these specific experiences rather than on everyday things. Memories ultimately last a lifetime, and most stuff just doesn't last a very long time. I think the root of this really came from my childhood when I didn't have a lot of things growing up. And because my parents didn't have a lot of money, we always focused on more experience-based things that didn't cost a lot of money. But as I got older and had more money and freedoms, I started to naturally gravitate towards novel experiences. And I definitely did a lot more experience-based things in my 20s. This led me to feel really good about the novel experiences that I was learning, but also as a topic of conversation among friends. I felt good about telling people about all the new things that I was doing at the time. I think for this tip, anybody can start out talking more about their experiences rather than the stuff they bought, or focusing on new activities to talk about rather than the same old things out of habit. It's more about the reallocation of your time and money and where do you put that energy. So one of the best ways I was able to maximize my life is to focus on experiences rather than stuff. Number two, take risks throughout life. I talk a lot about risk taking in this channel, and for good reason. I believe in it 100%. Taking risks in life, especially when it comes to learning new things, is always worth it. And over the long term, getting out of your comfort zone will have long-term benefits to you. Risks can bring something new into our lives long after we're consumed with routines and habits. Risks can be taken in careers, romantic relationships, and physical activities. Really anything that pushes you outside of your comfort zone and forces you to learn something new about yourself. And by taking smart risks, you can ultimately reach your full potential in life. Because you could possibly find what you really want in life by being exposed to lots of different things. And having spoken to a lot of people, the older you get, the more regrets you have by not taking a lot of risks early on in life, when that opportunity and time has passed you by. When I was in my early 20s, I took a lot of risks, but I was always scared of it. This is because I was unfamiliar with it and I was forced to take on things that were outside of my comfort zone. But over time and the years, I got more and more used to taking more risks. And ultimately, I gained a lot of confidence from being able to take risks and navigating my way through them. In my earlier videos, I talk a lot about risk taking and what your tolerance for risk is. But in general, if you're starting out, take small risks and build up to bigger ones over a period of time. And as you get better at taking small risks, you'll gain confidence in yourself and be able to tackle on larger and larger risks in life. So go out there and take risks, because if you don't, you might end up regretting it later down in life. And number 3, build people networks. I think that one of the most important things that you can do to try to maximize life is to create a strong social network of people. These are people that you can count on and that will support you in your goals and dreams. These people are not only able to help you out in times of need, but also bridge connections to newer people that you might not meet in person. And those people can open up pathways in life that you might otherwise be closed to. Networks can build careers, personal relationships, and a different lifestyle. When you're building connections, you basically extend the reach of your influence. And you can ultimately change not only your life, but the lives of other people as well. My own network has given me an access to many people and different opportunities that I otherwise wouldn't be privileged to. And many people that are in my networks I met randomly by happenstance. There was a speaker presenting a paper at my college, and I randomly reached out to her for a summer job. And I was able to get it. And because both of us were open to that connection, I was able to get a job for 3 years working with her. And for my second engineering job, I was able to get that because my professor knew me from the classes he taught. He taught thousands of people in his classes, but he knew me because I was able to go up to him and talk to him and ask him questions after class. And I created a career network bridge with him. You'll never know how and when your network will be advantageous to you. But knowing more people to build your network is never a bad thing. It gives you options that your own influence cannot reach to. At the very least, your network can provide you with friends and new activities to do. So try to see if you can meet people from all walks of life and try to bond with them at least a little bit. You don't have to be buddy-buddy best friends with them, but at least establish some sort of relationship between you two. And over time, see how you can help them and they can help you. Maximizing life means maximizing the leverage you have on your social network. Number 4, trust yourself. One of the early life lessons that I've learned and internalized is that you have to trust yourself, with the focus of not criticizing or second-guessing yourself. By being able to trust yourself, you filter out all the noise outside that tells you can't do something, or the world telling you can't or you shouldn't do something that you really want to do. Trusting yourself means following your gut and instincts on something, and really not let other people sow doubt and confusion within your own mind. It means following your own code of ethics and morals and not have anyone push you around. It's not easy to fully trust yourself, but if you want to maximize your life, it's essential. There are many times in my life that I had a crisis of trust within myself. Always in these times, I was conflicted because what I wanted and what others were telling me to do were not the same. And in those times, instead of trusting myself, I listened to others instead of what I wanted. Decisions like where to go for school, cities to live, and who I hung out with at school. When I go with my gut and trust in myself, I always have less regret about my decision. And I can say without a doubt, I always felt better when it was in my control. But when I pick someone else's judgment to trust in, I'm not only disappointed in myself, but I can be disappointed in others as well. Because sometimes people can take advantage of the trust that you put in them. But ultimately, at the end of the day, when you put trust in others and it ultimately doesn't work out, you are left with the consequences. So trusting yourself really starts with knowing what you want to do in life, and really being aligned with what your thoughts and your feelings are at the moment. Learning to really pay attention and listen to your inner voice takes a long time. But slowly and consistently over a period of time, you can get better and better listening to your inner voice and then completely trusting it later down the line. And once you're able to access that, you'll be able to trust yourself more and more as harder things come into your life. So maximizing life is about a life that you live that you completely trust yourself to be in. And number 5, live authentically. Lastly, living a life true to your core and authentic to what you believe in is a great way to maximize your life. You do what you want to do and not what others want you to do. When you live a life that you want, you can maximize your ultimate potential. And you are more highly motivated to get there because it is from your core that you want to do this. Living authentically means that you're aligning the choices in your life with what your goals and dreams are. I think that living authentically is really hard in modern day society because of all the external pressures that it puts on us. For me, living authentically started in childhood and was easier for me because of my childhood. I didn't have a lot of friends growing up, and my social circle wasn't that strong because I moved around a lot. Early on in my life, I didn't have a lot of strong influences, so I was able to live more authentically. This really set me on the path to craft my own life and live as authentically as I could to my own vision. And because these were my choices and decisions, I had less regret from them. For others, it might be to take a look at what your grand goals and desires are and work from that point. And really taking a step back and seeing where you are and where you want to go in life and how you can align your life to be more towards your goals. And asking the tough questions about how you need to change your life to get to your goals and desires. It might take a really long time, but it's worth it. Living an authentic life is never easy. So when you're trying to maximize life, living authentically is one of the best ways you can to obtain it. So here are my general thoughts on how to maximize life. These tips are not just from my own experience. They are from many older people that wanted to convey their regrets to younger people. And after living a full life, there are just immutable truths that all of us encounter along our own personal journeys that we want to look back and say we should have done this a little bit better. I think each one of us has phases in our lives in which we look at mortality very differently. The younger we are, the less we think about mortality, whereas the older we are, the more prominent it is in our life. I've only recently in my life started to have close friends that have serious illnesses within their lives. And that has really got me thinking about mortality and how short life really is to us. Even early on, I always knew that life was short and I needed to maximize it whenever possible. But to see others be so young and go through their own mortality phase is quite disturbing and sad. And this view of mortality shows how life really is precious and that we need to maximize every ounce of life. And hopefully that gives us the renewed vigor to go out and live our best life. So those were some of my tips on how to maximize life experiences. Very few of us thinks about our mortality, especially in their mid-30s. But as I started watching friends and family experience significant health issues, mortality is now at the forefront of my mind. Life is finite, and there's just no way to get around that unless singularity comes along. So that means we only have one life, and it's in our best interest to live that life as best as we can. So that means living a life that's authentic and true to our core selves. Without this, we can waste our life, have a lot of regrets, and always perpetually wonder, what if? So the main keys of this video are focus on experiences, take risks, and live authentically. So I hope you're able to maximize life a little bit better from my life experience. So thank you for watching. Please leave a comment down below on what do you do to maximize life and what would you do differently in your own life. And I'll see you next time.